Well, Graham, you talked about previously bringing back the sort of Cup glory days to the club from a few years ago. But this is another tough hurdle, isn't it, to overcome?
Yeah, tomorrow, so listen, it'll be a great day, great occasion. Newport County in the third round of the FA Cup. That's brilliant. That's great words. But it's a tough challenge. We've been here with the likes of Oldham, we've been here with the likes of Barnet, and we can recall how difficult the challenge will be. You only have to look at Eastleigh. They're free flowing. Their goal scores, the goal scoring that they achieve week upon week. They're probably the highest goal scorers in the division. They've got the top the top striker in the division as well. So look, every challenge is difficult. Every challenge is there to be met and to be overcome. But it is going to be a real difficult one for us. But one we're looking forward to, and we can't wait to get going.
Can you ignore the financial impact of something like this if you get through?
What the financial?
I mean, you get decent prize money for getting another, few thousand to add into the bank account.
I thought we talked about Eastleigh squad and Eastleigh's players and the bus they'll turn up on and what they can afford to give to their players. But look, you can't financially. Finances is part of football nowadays. So it does play a major part in it. Yeah, it's a very rewarding. If you can get through to the next round, it's very rewarding. The FA Cup is rewarding. But on a whole, we've progressed from last year. We've reached a second round last year. We reached a third round this year. So the little bit of success, we have brought some money in. But look, it's about, for us, for the footballing people, for the players, for myself, it's about playing football. It's about winning games of football. It's about achieving. And it's about what happens on the park between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Anything other than that is a bonus, and anything other than that, I don't think we would get too caught up in. Albeit it's nice, albeit it's badly needed. But yeah, look, we're more interested in the football, and as we know, it's a results orientated business. So that will be first and foremost on my mind and the players' mind, the result, and trying to overcome this challenge and trying to put on a decent spectacle for our fans.
Will they fancy their chances coming here, do you think?
Of course. I think they've gone on record. I think the manager was on the TV when we played Barnet, and there's enough footage. There's enough video or footage on the game on the 90 minutes that he witnessed. And I do believe he will fancy his chances, and he's made that known.
So we're into January. Before that, let's talk about who's available, who's not. Have you got any big injury worries? What's the latest at home, or what's the latest?
No, I think we've come through. We've come through the Sutton game. The squad will be pretty similar to Sutton. Hopefully, we can maybe have one addition, although that will be checked this morning. But other than that, I think we're going into it the same squad. I don't think there'll be any surprises. I don't think there's anybody making a miraculous recovery, and thank God, touch wood, we haven't picked up any new injuries. So that's the positive news. That's the good news. So we go in pretty much as we were on Monday or Tuesday.
Can you tell us the diagnosis on Omar now? Have you got to the bottom of that?
I've not really got on social media as of yet, so I'll have to. I'll sit down and speak to the medics. Omar might put it out this weekend. Who knows? I don't know. I'll speak to the medics as we go. But it's probably not something we don't really discuss our injuries in great detail on social media. So let me sit down with the medics and let me get to the bottom of it. It's something I've not got to as of yet.
And likewise, speaking to Omar about the social media.
Say that again?
And likewise, have you spoken to him about the social media?
Omar's an experienced player, so he should know that the do's and the don'ts. So look, if he wants to be different and he wants to do things his own way, that's not a lot. There's not a lot we can do about it.
Okay, January then. What progress have you made bringing people in?
Well, look, notoriously you're not going to bring anybody in before the FA Cup. Obviously that's this Saturday, so we haven't brought anybody in the building as of yet. But we've been on the phone, we've been active. It's like everything. you know, you register your interest, clubs take it away, they discuss with players, they sit and they chat, and then you have your bits and pieces over financially and what the deal looks like and things like that. So they're all ongoing. They're all ongoing in the background. But like I say, well, I want to try and concentrate on what's coming tomorrow rather than getting dragged down on things I can't do anything about till Monday morning.
But it doesn't depend on the takeover, because it seems imminent now, the EFL decision, because, you know, the next few weeks maybe. It doesn't depend on that.
Doesn't it?
Bringing people in doesn't depend on that.
I'm only one you. No, it doesn't. No. Listen, if we're going to bring a player in, we're going to bring a player in. And like we've said all along, I think we've been pretty consistent on it. It's not going to be loads and loads. We're not going to flood the club with loads of players. I don't think the need or the necessity is there to flood the club. But yeah, 1 or 2 players will come in, whether that be early next week or whether that be before or after the takeover. It won't hinder us in any way, shape or form. We've got 1 or 2 little bits and pieces lined up, so fingers crossed we can just press the green button and hopefully they all come at once. You know, the takeover, the new players come in, and we are starting to get that feel good factor back at the football club, and I do believe the takeover, the takeover has got a major part to play in that as well, because we're getting a really good guy there. We're getting a really experienced, not only chairman but owner, CEO. He's had a number of roles, and I think I do believe, and I think I'm right here. I do believe there's a little bit of a buzz about the place. On the back of recent form and possibly FA Cup run and possibly the takeover, so bring all that together, and yeah, it's a real good time. It's a real positive time at this moment in time at the football club.
Have you had any nibbles for any of your players? Any inquiries? It wouldn't surprise people if, for instance, you'd had even phone calls about Will Evans, because he's a striker who scores goals, and you know, as a former centre half, the strikers always attract the big attention. Well,
if we had any interest about any of your players, and then we chuck Will Evans into the equation. Yeah, look, it's football. We've had 1 or 2 inquiries, and that's part and parcel of football. Not only about Will, but about 1 or 2 of our players. So that's part and parcel of football. And I think I sat here in front of you a couple of weeks ago, and I said, that's great. I think we actually discussed the topic as well a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's great when clubs phone up about your players and clubs inquire about them and things like that. So that's a real positive. Again, it's part and parcel of the buzz that's kicking about at this football club, and it's testament to the players, and it's testament to the coaching staff that we're getting phone calls about players. I don't think it'll be the last call we get. I don't think. I do think we'll get more calls, and that's brilliant. And we look forward to receiving them calls.
But you're not inclined to sell?
No.
No.
No, I'm not inclined to sell. I don't know whether you want me to write that down or not. No, not at all.
And will cope? Since you've had inquiries about him and others, you say.
You mentioned Will. I haven't. I've mentioned players. You've mentioned individuals. So I've not mentioned any names. So therefore, you're trying to. I can see where you're going with this.
No, you did say Will, and you said not just Will. You had other inquiries.
Yeah, look,
and he's fine with all.
Yeah, look. Listen, there's no great secrets. Is there a striker scoring that amount of goals is going to attract attention. Players that are playing as well as they are playing for us are going to attract attention. So yeah, look, there's no issues there at all. There's no issues that the players are flying. They're looking forward to. They're looking forward to January. They're looking forward to the run in. They're looking forward to the takeover. They enjoy playing for the football club. There's a real good spirit about us as well. And if I use Will as an example, Will drives that. Will is he organises our breakfast in the mornings. So he's really part and parcel of everything we're doing. So yes, there will be a real reluctance to let any of our players go, never mind just Will.
That's a massive job. You can't lose that, can you?
He can't even do that right. He can't get the eggs done right in the morning. He looks after the breakfast club. Well, he's supposed to, but we'll probably have to teach him how to do that properly as well. But yeah, look, there's a good spirit amongst the group. There's a good spirit amongst the change room, and there's a few of them in decent form, and there's a couple of them that are still that'll come in the new year as well. So we're certainly looking forward to the turn of the year. We're certainly looking forward to the takeover, the cup game tomorrow, and what the rest of the season holds for us.
Cheers. Obviously, there are other clubs in League Two. Some of them are maybe loanees go. Have you? I'm thinking particularly in Seb, is such an important player. Bristol City been in touch and said you're all right for the rest of the season yet? Or I know it's a season-long loan, but there's no danger of anyone being recalled, is there?
No. I sit here in front of you, and I say we've not had any of the parent clubs onto us saying they're taking their players back. So I'm not saying that won't happen, but I'd be highly surprised if it did. Like you say, season-long loans. So no, we've not had any of the parent clubs on indicating that they want to take their players back. They're all very, very happy with the progress they're making, the game time that they're getting, and they're happy with the agreement.
One who's gone the other way. What's the thinking with Harrison coming back to be with us? What is that? Just
Harrison Bright. Well, look, we obviously we would have went into the game the weekend with only 6 on the bench. Harrison had done his loan. He'd gone out and he's got the game time that we'd asked him to do. It's like all players, when they go out on loan, you ask them, they're going out on loan for a reason, to get some game time under their belt. Harrison could have possibly stayed with us over the first part of the season and not got any game time. But as it happens, it's transpired, it's worked well. Harrison has gone out and got a number of games under his belt, first team football, and he's done really well. Now it's part and parcel of our job now to take him back, to develop him, to push him on, and to get him in around the first team as much as we can, because he's ticked his box, he's ticked his side of the deal. So we just want to get him around the first team, get him coached up as much as we can, use him where we can, and see how far he has come, see how far he has developed.
It's only been a few months. Have you seen that he's prospered from having those game times? I think he's back 15 or so.
Again, like I say, I'll be able to tell you in more detail over the coming weeks whether he has prospered or whether he has developed or whether he has got better. We would hope he has. He's a young lad. He should be developing every week, every day. So we would be able to give you a little bit more detail. My aim then going into the new year will be to get a few, or as many as I can, bounce games, reserve games, 11v11 games for these lads and the fringe players and some of the young lads, the youth team players as well, to go and have a game, to go and get some regular game time, because that's probably one area that I would like to improve upon is the game time that the fringe players not getting. So I'd like to put that in place going into the new year, and that's something that I have on my agenda to get going and to get done. But of course I can only do that when the fixtures are Saturday. It's nigh on impossible when it's Saturday, Tuesday, as heavy as it has been. So I think we got through 34 games. I don't envisage us getting through 24 games at the back end of the season. I think we've got 20 games in the league, 21 games possibly, and 1 cup game. So the turn of the year should represent a little bit of a cull in the games, the workload, and the game load. So we should be able to get some development games into a number of players.
How's Adam Lewis? Because obviously he came back.
Adam is fine. He's in good spirits. He's working hard. He's a little bit short of where we want him to be. So obviously he'll work his socks off as he does. That's part and parcel of his character. He's had a real good session Wednesday, Thursday this week. He'll train again with us tomorrow. But again, like I said, going back to the games, going back to that 11v11, I think really Adam needs a good run out, a good 45 minutes, a good hour of an 11v11. So that's part and parcel of me thinking as well, trying to get those games for the lads and to quicken up the return to play. But he's in good spirits. He's flying. He's doing really well, and we just need to get him up to match speed. Really, the only way we can do that is really by getting those bounce games, as I say.
I suppose that applies for. There's a few on the horizon, maybe some of the boys, because I think Oz was New Year, wasn't he? Sometime New Year, I think. Kyle.
Yeah.
Are they all getting?
They're all in around. They're all training. They're all working hard. How hard you push them? Yes, we all want them back yesterday, not tomorrow. We all want them back as quick as. But again, there's a fine line. I trust the medical department. Sophie's come in and really got a hold of it, and she's really she's run it as professional as it should be run. So yeah, she's got a real grip on it, and Scott Wickens, who our S&C, will put the lads through the paces. But we all know you can't replicate match minutes, you can't replicate match day and that adrenaline and that game time. It's very, very difficult to replicate that. So all the training sessions you can do, all the running you do in the gym, all the gym work, it's difficult, really difficult to replicate the game time. So again, going back to the previous question, that's something that I want to try and get this season. The back end of this year, I want to try and get as many bounce games, as many close games behind closed doors as we can, so the lads can integrate with the youth team, and the lads can get their match minutes up and be ready for a Saturday.
Eastleigh, what sort of team are they? Have you been able to watch much of them?
Yeah, well, funny enough, actually, me being a weirdo who sits watching football all the time, 24/7, I watched them against Reading. Lo and behold, I didn't know we were to play them, but I watched. Obviously, naturally, we watched that game. We got some really good contacts in the National League who help us out so far as the way Eastleigh play. Look, they've got, as I said earlier, they've got the top marksman in the National League, who I tried to bring to Southend when he was a kid at West Ham. So yeah, that's a real positive for them. They're free scoring. They score at will, really. They put a lot of balls in the box. They got a real technician in Chris McGuire, who we would have seen when he was with Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland, Oxford. So he's got a real pedigree. The boy Noel Tanga, who sits in front of the back four, is a real handful. He breaks things up, and he's a real pivot for them. Or sits in front of the back three, I should have said. But yeah, they've got some really good players. They carry a bit of size. They're threat at set pieces. They're a really dangerous team. A really dangerous team. They've got a lot of football league experience as well. The way they play as well, they come at you. They ask questions of you. And let me tell you, it'll be a test. It'll be a real test for us. It should be a test for both teams. Both teams will find the opposition a real stern test tomorrow. So look, it's one we're looking forward to. It's one we can't wait to get going. And like I said, we've had that stern test in the previous rounds against Oldham and against Barnet. So we should be experienced enough now to know what's coming, and our fans will know how difficult it will be as well, given the test that we've had at Oldham and the test we've had at Barnet.
Obviously, Nick, you criticised Nick after the corner that wasn't dealt with. How much do you have to consider before? You've obviously told him before he went in the press, but how much do you consider before? Because it's not something managers do lightly, is it? To name individuals or highlight errors. What went into your sort?
There was no getting away. Look, there was a mistake made last week, so it was made and it's cost us. But look, Nick is a professional. He will bounce back, and let's be honest, Nick has saved us. Nick has saved us on numerous occasions. But I don't want errors and I don't want mistakes to start creeping in and lack of concentration. You concentrate from the first whistle to the last. We don't switch off at any time, and I just think that was a moment where we switched off. But like I say, it's if there's a little bit of flack kicking about, you gotta accept it as a player. You gotta stand up. Look, Nick doesn't need me to speak about it, or anybody to speak. He'll be the first one to tell us. So that's part and parcel of being a footballer. He's a senior pro. If he was 17, 18, it might be kid gloves and it might be arms around the shoulder, but he's a senior pro. So look, we haven't made any just nothing major. Those type of incidents have been costing us, and I want us to cut them incidents and them moments, them crazy moments out. And it's not just one player; it's a number of players who are making silly errors at crucial stages in games. So we really need that to be cut out.